Cooked versus raw rice in soil, the 48-hour soil awakening every gardener needs to see. Most gardeners wait seasons for their soil to improve, adding compost, fertilizers, and amendments while hoping life eventually returns underground. But here's the shocker. You can trigger visible microbial activity in your soil in as little as 48 hours using something already in your kitchen. No expensive inputs, no complicated biology degree required, just rice. And the real game changer is whether that rice is raw or cooked. If you garden with farm basic in mind, you already know the truth most people overlook. You know, plants don't actually grow soil healthy. It's soil life that grows plants healthy. And, well, when soil life is asleep, nothing really thrives the way it should. What you're about to learn here isn't just theory, it's a practical, repeatable way to wake up soil biology fast, using cooked rice for immediate results, raw rice for long-term feeding, and fermented rice water for balance and control. So, why does soil life respond so strongly to rice? Well, soil isn't just dead dirt, it's actually a living system, packed with bacteria, fungi, and microbes whose job is to break down organic matter and convert it into nutrients that plants can actually use. When these organisms are underfed or inactive, soil becomes compacted, nutrient-locked, and lifeless. Rice works because it is almost pure stored energy in the form of starch. Starch is one of the easiest carbon sources for microbes to convert into sugars, and sugars are the fuel that drives microbial reproduction. But here's where things get interesting. Not all starch is equally accessible. The physical structure of rice determines whether microbes can eat immediately or must work slowly over time. That single difference explains why cooked rice can explode with microbial life in days, while raw rice sits quietly in the soil for weeks. So, what really happens when raw rice enters the soil, you might wonder. If you drop uncooked rice into soil, well, you're not going to see fireworks, not right away. Raw rice starch is, tightly packed into these dense crystalline granules that microbes actually struggle to penetrate. Only certain fungi and specialized bacteria can begin breaking it down, and even then, the process is slow. Moisture softens the grain gradually, allowing fungal threads to colonize the surface and release enzymes that slowly unlock the starch inside. This means raw rice acts like a long-term food source rather than an instant stimulant. Weeks may pass before you notice much change. The grains often remain intact while microbial activity quietly builds around them. This makes raw rice useful for deep soil conditioning and fungal development, especially in garden beds that need sustained biological support over an entire season. Raw rice isn't exciting, but it's reliable. Think of it as a slow-burn fuel that feeds soil life long after faster food sources are gone. Just don't expect quick visual results. Why cooked rice changes everything. The moment rice is cooked, its structure transforms. Heat and water cause the starch to gelatinize, breaking apart the crystalline barriers that once protected it. The grains swell, soften, and expose their energy directly to microbes. What was once locked away becomes instantly available. When cooked rice is buried in soil, microbes waste no time. Within 24 to 48 hours, activity becomes obvious. You may notice a sour fermentation smell, small gas bubbles, or white fungal growth spreading across the surface. By day 3 or 4, the rice often loses its shape entirely, overtaken by rapidly multiplying bacteria that, thrive on easy energy. This is not subtle. Side-by-side tests make the difference undeniable. Raw rice after 2 weeks still resembles rice. Cooked rice after 1 week often disappears into a thriving microbial mass. So, this is why cooked rice is actually one of the fastest soil activators a gardener can use. But, there is one important limitation to keep in mind. Cooked rice burns hot and fast. Because microbes consume it so quickly, the surge in activity, well, it typically lasts only 1 to 2 weeks. Once the food source is gone, populations stabilize and activity declines, unless new inputs are added. That's why cooked rice works best as a kickstarter rather than a standalone solution. It's perfect for waking up tired soil before planting, jump-starting compost that is stalled, or reactivating garden beds that have gone biologically quiet. Used strategically, it delivers dramatic results when timing matters most. How fermented rice water fills the gap between fast-acting cooked rice and slow-release raw rice sits one of the most useful tools a gardener can make at home. Fermented rice water. Instead of burying grains, this method captures beneficial microbes in a liquid form that's easy to apply and far more controlled. The process is simple and powerful. Take 1 cup of uncooked rice and rinse it with 2 cups of clean water. Stir thoroughly to release the starch, then strain off the cloudy liquid. Pour this starchy water into a loosely covered jar and leave it at room temperature for 3 to 5 days. As it ferments, naturally occurring lactic acid bacteria multiply rapidly. You'll know it's ready when it develops a mild sour smell. Before using it in the garden, dilution is critical. Mix 1 part fermented rice water with 10 parts clean water. For example, combine 1 cup of fermented liquid with 10 cups of water. This diluted solution can be poured directly onto soil or around plant roots, delivering live microbes without attracting pests or creating anaerobic conditions. Fermented rice water provides a steady microbial boost that's gentler than burying cooked rice and more immediate than raw rice. Applied every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season, it helps maintain a balanced and active soil ecosystem. When to use each method in your garden. The real power comes from knowing when to use each form. Cooked rice shines when you need fast results. Use it before planting, when reviving compacted beds, or when compost needs a biological jumpstart. Bury it a few inches deep so pests can't access it, and let microbes do the rest. Raw rice is best used deeper in the soil for long-term conditioning. It feeds fungal networks over time, and supports soil life well beyond the initial microbial surge. This makes it ideal for perennial beds, orchards, and long-season gardens where sustained biology matters. Fermented rice water fits perfectly into regular maintenance. It's safe, controlled, and easy to apply, making it ideal for gardeners who want consistent results without digging or burying materials. So, here's the thing about the 48-hour transformation. It all comes down to the science. Cooked rice works so fast because, honestly, the structure matters a whole lot more than the actual nutrients. You see, raw rice starch is pretty resistant, and that's mostly because of its high amylose content and, well, the tight way those molecules are packed together. But when you cook rice, that structure gets totally disrupted. The starch turns into this gel-like form that, microbes can just digest instantly. It's actually the same reason, that cooked food spoils faster than raw food. Once the barriers are gone, microbes rush in. Soil microbes, they're real opportunists. Give them accessible energy and, well, populations just explode. Cooked rice removes every obstacle, transforming dormant soil into a feeding ground almost overnight. The clear verdict for gardeners is pretty straightforward. If your goal is to see soil life wake up in just a few days, cooked rice wins without question. It delivers visible, rapid results that can, honestly, transform soil energy almost immediately. Raw rice still matters, but it plays the long game. Fermented rice water bridges both worlds, offering speed, safety, and control. This isn't a gardening myth, it's a practical tool you can use today to improve soil fertility, boost compost performance, and strengthen plant growth from the ground up. The next time rice is on the stove, remember that a small portion can do more for your garden than many store-bought products ever will. If this guide helped you see soil differently, make sure to subscribe to Farm Basic for more real-world gardening knowledge that actually works. Share this with fellow gardeners who want better soil without guesswork, and let's keep building healthier gardens together from the ground up.